What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Always Out of Market NFL podcast. I'm here with our boy Jason and our boy Tyler. Probably not pointing in the right spots, but
Not quite.
it's just us three today. We're gonna talk our fantasy league and our picks for the week, and a little bit of news. So, Jason, go ahead.
All right, so uh, for I say non-injury related, there are a couple of injuries in here that we should talk about outside of our picks. But first, we'll talk about Chris Jones. Finally, has ended his holdout with the Chiefs. He signed a one-year deal and will be playing this week, um, along with Travis Kelsey. He's going to be playing coming off of a bruised knee. Uh, so good for the Chiefs, bad for everybody else.
Chiefs are they're playing this week.
The
So
Jags.
yeah, I just said it a second ago. I don't know. Now that I don't know what I want to choose in my pick now, but
You are allowed to swap still. So if you see anything that you're like, oh, actually, I want to pick the other team, I can swap it in the middle of recording. Uh, let's see. The Seahawks signed offensive tackle Jason Peters. Uh, is that an odd move, or am I just like imagining things? He's old.
It's 41,
Matthew, you're muted.
but
sorry, I'm mute just in case there's a bunch of background
Yeah,
noise.
no, you're good.
But uh, it is kind of weird just because he is in his 40s. I don't see why you would sign somebody in your 40s, but good for them, I
did he do
guess.
good with the Cowboys last year?
I mean, the Cowboys' offensive line is always good because of their system. So, I mean, he probably did do good, but I mean, I guess the Seahawks are just like in desperation mode for a better offensive line after last week because they did not look good against the Rams. Uh, anyway, uh, the Bengals released right tackle Lyle Collins. He was on the pup list, and they released him. So, I mean,
That,
if he gets back to playing shape, a team will definitely sign him. I think.
yeah, he's solid. The rest of the offensive line's mediocre for the most part, but
Yeah. Uh, Now I got a couple injuries or a few injuries here, uh, to mention outside of our picks this week. That being the Bears corner Kyler Gordon. He's going on IR with a hand injury. Apparently, it's like super painful, and he's expected to miss probably more than 4 games from what I saw. So,
he
I
break it. Or,
I all I saw was that it was a very painful hand injury, is what the tweet said that I saw. So,
he jammed his finger.
I mean, that is very painful.
It
I don't
is.
know about IR painful, but uh, and then another guy's going on IR. Steelers Cam Hayward. He's gonna miss at least 8 games.
That's
Uh,
a huge loss for the Steelers.
yeah, he had surgery. I don't know what it was for. I haven't seen. I meant to look at it to see if I can find it before we started recording, and I just forgot. Um, but like you said, huge loss for the Steelers after a an abysmal performance last week, where they need all the help they can get. So that leads us to the two biggest injuries that happened this past week. One of them, Baltimore Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles. He's out for the year.
Didn't
Ravens
he
are
miss
falling
like most
apart.
of last year?
He did.
Yeah, the Ravens are falling apart just in general. Outside of J.K. Dobbins, like they have they have the longest injury report this week by far. Uh,
It's only week 2.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and then the biggest injury of the week, easily, is Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles on the fourth play of his Jets career. Uh, Obviously, that is a huge loss for the Jets. But you also have to factor in, we talked about it in Discord when it happened. The Packers will not get a first round pick for him now because he was supposed to play 70% of the snaps this season for them to get that pick. Obviously, 3 plays is not going to equal out to 70% of their snaps. So you can still get the second round pick, which I mean, I guess that's better than nothing. But
Yeah, but like I know it's not his fault. I know he didn't choose to rupture his Achilles, but I feel like it's his fault.
it's just it's
So I gotta
The
put the
Jets.
blame on somebody.
The
it's
Jets
just
are cursed, dude.
it's just one of those things that I mean, I don't mean to sound like an ass when I say this, but it's something that the Packers fans are going to have to just get over.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
like you said, he didn't choose to rupture his Achilles. We all saw the
yeah.
video. He did. It was obvious in the one video where it was close up that you saw it rupture, and I mean there was nothing he could do about that. So
Just look, I'm not too mad about a second round pick. If it would have dropped us to like a fifth round pick or something, I would be pretty pissed. It's only
well,
the
yeah,
second round, so it's whatever. We don't ever do shit in the first round anyway, so
yeah. I mean you would have probably drafted a tight end or something with it.
yeah. Along
Uh,
with our other four.
but outside of like game by game news to go over, that's all we had this week. Really, there were a couple other things that we could have talked about, but I didn't think they were necessary. But we can talk about Thursday Night Football a little bit between the Vikings and the Eagles. I only have one thing to say about that game, and that is that I think the Eagles are in trouble this year. They don't look very good.
I thought the same thing. Jalen Hurts looked uncomfortable for 90% of the game. Up until probably the third quarter, actually, I'd say. He looked really off. He couldn't do anything. I don't know if it was the line or if it was just him trying to run and he couldn't make anything of it, but they looked bad. The Vikings looked even worse.
Yeah.
I saw that the Vikings coach installed certain plays just for the Eagles defense.
Yeah, I mean, that game really came down to the fact that the Vikings turned the ball over 4 times, 3 of them in the first quarter alone. Like this coming week, they are gonna obviously have drills of no fumbling, like hold on to the ball. And I know we all make fun of Kirk Cousins having a horrible primetime record, but he played amazing, really. Like in the first 2 games of the season, he has over 700 passing yards. Like that is he's gonna have 1,000 passing yards by the end of week 3 probably. That's crazy.
I saw something. It was I can't remember where I saw it, but they were talking about a potential trade to bring Kirk Cousins to the Jets, and they were like, "Who would be mad about it?" And it makes sense because I know from a Vikings standpoint, they probably are ready to get rid of Kirk Cousins, even because they're blaming him. You always blame the quarterback.
Yeah.
Uh, and the Jets need one right now, so I really don't know who would say no, but I don't know what they would give the Vikings in exchange for their quarterback. But
Zach Wilson.
yeah,
And I mean, that trade would make sense because Kirk is on his last year of his contract, so he's going to be a free agent next year, or if they decide to extend him, which I don't think that's what's going to happen.
no,
Not that he's a bad quarterback. He's right in the middle, I think. He's not the greatest. He's not the worst, easily.
he just I don't know. I don't want to say he can't get it done because like I said or like you said he played amazing. He had almost 400 yards on Thursday, so I don't know. I like Kirk. He's not a bad dude. He seems all right.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll find his way.
the problem is the defense. That's what the problem is. That run defense is probably the worst run defense I've ever seen since I started watching the NFL. It's really, really, really bad.
It was abysmal. They had DeAndre Swift running like 15 times in one drive, and they just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, like you even texted me. You were like, they ran the ball like 13 times on that drive, and I think they said they ran it 13 out of 16 plays on that touchdown drive, and they just went down the field. And I was watching it as it was happening, and the commentators were like, yeah, they did this play or this drive that was like 15 plays for like 40 yards or something like that, and it took over 9 minutes off the clock. because the Vikings just couldn't stop the run. And then when it would get to 4th and short, they would just do the tush push and get the first down, and the clock would keep going. But what's even crazier...
Speaking of that,
oh, good.
the tush push. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Because, my opinion, Jalen Hurts is going to get it anyway. Yeah, there's no need for y'all to push him. That man squats like 800 pounds. They're not stopping him. There's no need to push.
I
think it's just a thing they do though. Like,
But like they've
know.
always had it to where you're not allowed to push the running back in. You're not supposed to push them for a first down or anything. I don't understand what the difference is with the quarterback and why they're like they just allow it, because it's a 100%. They don't ever not get the touchdown.
And I've seen a ton of debate on Twitter about this because the Eagles are so good at it on the 4th and short or 3rd and short or whenever they decide to do it. And someone brought up a great point in one of the replies, and it really made me think, if, like, because everybody's like, oh, it's so easy to get a touchdown or a first down on 4th and short or 4th and goal on that play because they have like a 92% success rate. But then someone was like, if it's so easy, why doesn't every other team in the NFL do that? So,
but that's what I'm saying. It's Jalen Hurts squats 800 pounds.
So,
if every you look at most of the other quarterbacks' builds, he's not the same.
No. But it's one of those things, like, if they decide to ban that play, it looks like bias towards the Eagles or against the Eagles because they're the only team that does that play. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw a tush push from another team. I can't think of it off the top of my head, at least.
The Bills have done it a few times, or used to, whenever, because Josh Allen's always been huge. But that's the only other team I've seen really do it, where they just actually push him and not just do like a QB sneak.
Yeah. And, yeah, I don't think that you ban it. I don't think you make it against the rules.
Yeah.
I think you leave it in, let the Eagles do that and see how long it takes for a team to be able to say, okay, the offensive line gets low whenever they do this play. We need to go lower. I mean,
they already messed up the Eagles this year anyway with like the forward hands-offs or whatever it is that they like changed the rules for this year.
Yeah.
So
it's like I said, it's one of those things. If you ban it, it looks like bias against the Eagles, and the way the Eagles fans are already, you don't want to piss them off any more than they already are.
Let's and Vikings fans. Let's not forget them.
Yeah.
I saw a video of one of the Eagles fans doing the gritty next to a Vikings fan as they were leaving the stadium.
And the Eagles fans should not be proud of that win in the slightest. That was such a sloppy game that it made it a good game at the end.
Y'all were in the Super Bowl last year, and now you're struggling to even get in the end zone at some point.
Yeah, you beat the Patriots by 5 points last week, almost lost that game, and you beat the Vikings by 6 this week after almost letting them come back from, like, what was it, 17 points down?
Yeah.
So, you have an issue that as soon as they play a team that's a Super Bowl contender, they're going to get exposed, and it's not even going to be a close game, I don't think. Unless they start to figure something out, they're in trouble.
See, and this brings up the point of what Steven has been saying all offseason about them losing their coach.
Yeah.
It has ruined them. They don't even look like the same team.
No, and like, yes, they did lose players too, on top of losing their coordinators. But you can tell they play differently now than they did last year.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference. But
they don't seem as fast paced as, in my opinion. They look like they're really, really slow and sluggish whenever they're out there trying to get plays off and everything. I don't know. They don't look good.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, well, that's something to keep an eye on this year as the year progresses. This is a topic we could probably talk about for hours. So, to save some time, let's go ahead and move on to talk about fantasy. Last week, we had some. Y'all can't quite see all of it that I'm showing for the people watching, but last week we had Tyler come out with a win over Gavin, barely, by just over 5 points. Gavin should have lost by so much, but he had the Cowboys defense.
The Cowboys defense.
That got 35 points and almost won him the game against Tyler. Tyler's team,
I recovered from Joe Burrow's pitiful performance.
Yeah, Tyler's team did score the most in our league with 146.98. And then the next game down, you got Matthew beat Steven handily.
Or Steven, the only team that didn't break 100 points.
Yeah, he got so close. He got so close. He had a couple of duds in there that he had started, unfortunately, just like I did. Yeah, and then you moved down. Ryan absolutely destroyed me last week.
Yeah, I mean, annihilation. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, I took some chances with who I started, and it didn't work out. It's okay. It's the first week of the fantasy season. So I made some adjustments on my team. I'm going to start Justin Fields one more time. I might tank 2 weeks in a row. If I do, it's only 2 games. It's okay. But
you should be able to get a win this week. I mean, you're playing Steven.
Yeah, I mean, so, okay, our first matchup is Matthew versus Tyler. You have a kicker that played, right?
Jake Elliott.
Yeah, Jake Elliott played for you, so you're up 12-0 right now. Tyler, have you made any changes to your team?
I put in a waiver for next week, but other than that, no.
Okay. I see you have D-Hop still in here, though he's questionable.
Yeah.
Well, after watching him get every single pass thrown to him last week, I don't blame him. I mean, god damn.
Yeah. And then so y'all are playing each other. Gavin and Ryan are playing each other. Neither one of them are here, so we're not going to spend any time on that game. And then I'm playing Steven. We both have scored a decent amount of points off of just Thursday night. But the problem for Steven this week is Austin Eckler is doubtful for tomorrow. Probably not going to play. Christian Watson, questionable, may not play. So he's had to sub in Ramondre Stevenson from his flex to his RB2, and then brought Tyler Lockett into his flex from his bench.
Which is even worse because Tyler Lockett didn't do anything last week.
Yeah, but I mean, who does he start? He's got DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, and Dallas Goedert. Well, Dallas Goedert already played, so he can't put him in. Because he's got Alvin Kamara, who's suspended. That's who I imagine he's going to have in his flex when he gets to play.
Who are the Bears playing?
The Bucks.
I don't know. I think I would take the chance on DJ Moore, but...
Well, I'm gonna let him start who he thinks is the best option and try and take the win. My team, like I said, I'm gonna keep Justin Fields in this week and see if it was a 1 week thing or what. I had a big game from Devontae Smith, got me 23.1 points on Thursday. He also won me some money on Thursday night, so...
Sir.
Devontae Smith, if you see this, thank you very much for your performance. I'm also starting Darren Waller this week. He said he said himself he is going to play, so...
I mean, lucky you. I saw the Cardinals are apparently the worst team against tight ends in the league.
Oh, perfect.
Fantasy, so...
Because I'm still a little bit worried about having him with Daniel Jones being his quarterback.
Yeah.
So I am very worried about it. I did pick up Brock Purdy. I dropped Aaron Rodgers, obviously, since he's out for the season.
He said he'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll believe that whenever I see it. I don't even know if the Jets are going to make the playoffs.
I was about to say, if Zach Wilson is at the helm, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Real quick with my fantasy, I just want to thank my wide receivers for the win.
Yeah, you have Tyreek Hill and Calvin Ridley, which combined for like 70 points last
60
week.
points, yeah.
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 You got lucky as hell that you didn't lose that game.
Plus up to Garrett touchdown.
Garrett Wilson.
That's what I needed to win.
That Garrett Wilson touchdown won me $180. So.
Yeah, we're a bunch of gambling men here on the Always Out of Market podcast. So
In a state
Well,
that doesn't
combos,
allow
please.
gambling. Yeah.
Combos. Okay, we're combo betters.
I've already got a couple of them set for tomorrow.
I haven't done mine yet. I got to.
I found out
Yeah,
you
I
can
got
do
the
it with college football too. You can do combos.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I'm
I
not
don't know if
doing that, but
I don't trust college football
no,
enough
not
to
at
do
all.
that.
Not at
Yeah.
all. The numbers are like most of the numbers are crazy high.
I'm sure.
Like I saw
Will
one.
Marvin Harrison Jr. have over 360 receiving yards?
I saw one. It was like I don't remember the names of them, but like the Colorado quarterback and the wide receiver,
Sanders.
Shador Sanders.
Yeah,
Shador
Sanders
Sanders,
and
and Travis Hunter. It was like it was the combo thing, and it was more or less than 6 touchdowns accounted for.
Whenever they average 7 or something, that
It's just I know as soon as I would pick over, they would wind up scoring like 10 points.
I would hammer the over on them just for the fact that they're playing Colorado State.
I mean, yeah, that's college football though.
Yeah.
Let's move our attention over. They already saw this first slide a minute ago, but Steven has graciously added a couple of slides at the beginning of our presentation this week for the worst picks of the week. This is
I hate that this is gonna become a recurring segment, and I'm probably gonna end up on it a lot.
no. What we're gonna do is everybody will be on this every week. You're gonna be on here for your worst pick of the previous week, which is why Gavin and Tyler, they picked the Giants. They got shut out 40-0 against the Cowboys.
I like that they have clown noses.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. And then obviously Steven, myself, and Ryan, we picked the Bengals to beat the Browns. That game was atrocious by the Bengals, not even close. And then Matthew, obviously, your worst pick of the week was picking the Seahawks to beat the Rams. And if you are not on social media very often and you didn't see the video of Geno Smith screaming "Oh my God" when he saw Aaron Donald running at him, that's where the "Oh my God" came from on the screen. It is.
Yeah, but can we blame him?
No,
Video is
it
funny
was.
as hell.
It's so funny. It is. I mean, can you blame him? Like Tyler said, can you blame him? I would have done the same thing, except I would have sounded a lot more feminine than he did.
I mean, it would have been funnier if he did the Peyton Manning instead, where he's like running away. He's like, "God damn it!"
See, the thing is, he didn't have any time to run anywhere. Aaron Donald was coming full speed ahead, unblocked.
That's still my favorite clip, by the way, is the fucking Peyton Manning cursing out his offensive lineman for not blocking.
And then you see his offensive lineman in the back. He's like, "What did I do?"
Oh, yeah. So, fun little addition to start the week from Steven.
So what happens if you go undefeated in picks?
Then I guess you're not on the slide.
You're spared. You're spared from the worst picks.
Yeah, I guess that would be the.
It'd be hard to go undefeated, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be nearly impossible to go undefeated.
Yeah.
The next slide we have is really cool as well.
Ooh.
We have a little graph showing how well we did last week.
Look at us moving up in the world.
Steven even made it where the bars are that far across the screen. So like Gavin his bar is 82% across the screen. Matthew, yours is 76%, so on and so forth. As you see, Gavin kicked ass last week, as well as Matthew. Matthew only was one behind him. And then towards the bottom here, there's Tyler and I tied for last. Not very good, below 50%.
It's not about how you start.
And, well, that's true because you started off amazing last year and you fell off. So maybe you're doing the opposite this year. You start bad, but you finish strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the way he's going to do this is it's going to update every week, and we'll see how we do as the season progresses, just to give the viewers a visual.
Yeah.
This is so much better than what we did last season. I love
absolutely. We have moved up in the world so much since this time last year. Or well, we weren't even doing this yet at this time last year, but you know what I mean.
We didn't start till what week?
I think we
a
started
couple weeks in, week 4 or something.
Yeah, I think we started in week 4.
I can check real fast.
But
Yeah.
with that being said, we can get into our picks for the week. It's unfortunate.
Week 4.
Yep.
We started week 4.
That's what I thought. There's some picks in here that are made by some people that are not on today that I really want to know the answer to why they picked them. So we're not going to be able to have those answered, which sucks. But we can talk about it and try and figure it out on our own. First one up is the Ravens at the Bengals. Up until earlier this morning, Tyler had picked the Ravens, but realized how many people are injured on the Ravens.
See, I'm the opposite. I've been going back and forth on this game for a while because I don't know if I trust Joe Burrow yet. And it's weird to say that because of what he's done up until now, but he still looks injured. He doesn't look like he's healthy yet, and they're like throwing him out there to play. I don't know.
I feel like the Ravens have too many injuries, though.
They have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so I have the injury report for every game pulled up right here on my phone. The Ravens have J.K. Dobbins is out, obviously. Safety Marcus Williams, cornerback Marlon Humphrey, center Tyler Linderbaum, tackle Ronnie Stanley. They're all out this week.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah. I was gonna change my pick. I'm not.
And Mark Andrews is still questionable, so they may not even have him.
And Lamar Jackson is not starting on the Yugoslavia Yaks either. Thanks for the 6 points last week, you fucking bum.
Big ups to Joe Burrow with the 3 points.
Yeah. And then on the flip side for the Bengals, they have some guys questionable. They got Marcus Bailey and Joseph Osai. They're both questionable on defense. And then their backup running back, Chris Evans, is questionable as well.
Not the Human Torch.
Yeah, not the Human Torch. So, yeah, I think this game, the Ravens just had too many injuries. I don't see a way that they win this game.
I don't know who's going to cover the receivers for
Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Yeah. Well, T. Higgins don't touch the ball anyway, but
yeah,
but still,
the Ravens just have too many injuries, and especially the fact that 2 of their starting offensive linemen are going to be out, possibly. Or no, they are out.
There we go.
Sorry,
that's much better.
It doesn't look good for them whatsoever.
We should do one of these one week where it's all the pictures of us whenever we were kids.
I mean, I'm down for it.
Because I looked like a fucking gremlin when I was a child, so it's...
You had a major glow up. All right, let's move on to the next game. We've got the Seahawks at the Lions.
What a shocker.
The last one and this one, Ryan and Gavin have just been staring into the soul of the viewers the whole time.
Yeah, so Ryan going alone, he said last week, and he told me to make sure I mention it, that he said he's not going to ever pick against the Seahawks, and he's not going to start this week. So he's sticking with it. You know, props to him for probably giving up a game that he could have won if he'd have picked the Lions.
They looked so inconsistent last week. Geno couldn't get it to his receivers. The run game, they couldn't get anything going. It didn't look good. They looked horrible.
Yeah,
they got annihilated by the Rams. I don't understand. I mean, I get he's a Seahawks fan. He's not going to pick against them, but everybody else picks against their teams. We're trying to win around here.
Yeah, I mean, so it makes you, after last week, it makes you worry that it really was a one-off year for Geno, because he did not look very good last week. And I know if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm sitting here and I'm starting to doubt. I know it was only week 1.
Yeah.
But after the way he played last year, you would have expected the same thing coming out of the gate. But
I will say this. I'm not going to hate on anybody too much because it was just week 1. Everybody's still trying to get back into the groove of playing football and stuff. And as a Packers fan, we have always sucked on week 1 up until this year. So You never know. It could
A
just
future
be
Hall
that
of Famer.
future Hall of Famer Jordan Love, new sole owner of the Bears. Um, but I don't know. Maybe they'll find something, turn something around. I think after this week, if they get blown out or something by the Lions, we're gonna start talking. Drew Lock might be up next.
So I'll bring up there are some injuries to report in this game as well on both sides. The Seahawks will be without Jamal Adams at safety. They'll be without Charles Cross at tackle, and they'll be without Mike Morris at the defensive end spot. The Lions are going to be without two of their corners this week, which could be huge for the Seahawks. They're going to be without Khalil Dorsey and Emmanuel Mosley. They're also going to be without defensive end Joshua Pascal, and tackle Taylor Decker is doubtful. So, a lot of injuries this week. Just across the board from every team, basically. Almost every team has injuries this week, which is insane this early in the season.
Kind of crazy because the Lions had like an extra couple of days off.
Yeah, and
They played Thursdays, so the first Thursday.
Yeah. So the corners missing is going to be a big thing to watch for the Lions because they, as we've talked about, the Seahawks have one of if not the best wide receiver core in the league. So if their backup corners can't keep up, this could go to the Seahawks easily.
That the Lions' pass rush is just so good. I don't know. I don't think Gino will have enough time. I don't think the Seahawks offensive line is good enough to stop Hutchinson.
And that could, that's gonna.
I think he's gonna have a field day.
I mean, I think he is gonna be the deciding factor in this game because if they can make Gino rush, then he's not gonna get the ball to his receivers in a good spot. So, and I mean, if your pass rush is good, your run defense is going to wind up being good. So they're not going to be able to run the ball very well, probably. So
be seeing a lot of blue ski masks at that game too. Did y'all see about that? CJ Gardner Johnson made the statement of whatever, and they got sold out on their site. So,
well, good for them. I mean, the Lions have a good shot this year. I mean,
I think they have a good shot.
We'll see what the rest of the year brings, but they looked pretty good against the Chiefs, as we talked about.
Haven't met J-Lo yet.
I mean, that is true. Anyway, the next game on the list is the Colts at the Texans.
Wow.
And I am going to bring this up now so that you might go ahead and change your pick, Matthew. There are some injuries to report. The Colts will be these are questionables. Quentin Nelson at guard and Andrew Ogletree at tight end. They're both questionable for the Colts. But on the flip side, for the Texans, they are going to be without two safeties. Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward are out. Tackle Laramie Tunsil, linebacker Neville Hewitt, and quarterback C.J. Stroud are questionable.
Well, I didn't know C.J. Stroud was questionable. What the fuck?
He hurt his shoulder, I believe, in practice.
No, I'm going to the Colts.
Okay.
He's the only reason that I picked the Texans.
Yeah, I saw you pick that, and before the injuries even started happening, I was like, I don't know about that one.
I mean, the Colts are bad.
The Colts scored touchdowns last week, and the Texans didn't.
Bet too.
Who did the Colts play, and who did the Texans play?
Colts played the Jags.
Colts played the Jags.
And the
Jags
Texans played the Ravens.
Jags defense also blew a 27-point lead. I have it backwards, don't I? Against the Chargers. Yeah.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
But
either way, I was so confident in that pick. I did not think I was going to be alone, but now that I know CJ Stroud's injured, that makes sense.
So, there are some other games that we have sweeps on. I have a fun little graphic on. I don't have it for this one now though, but our first sweep of the week goes to the Colts, which is so weird that the Colts are on the good side of being swept after last year. It kind of feels wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say about this game. It's the battle of
Yeah.
teams that are gonna have 5 wins this year probably, and that's probably it.
To decide the top 10 pick.
I mean, basically. So we can go ahead and move on over to the Bears at the Bucks.
Why is every one of them where just one person is off?
I don't know, man. Ryan
We're on that Tampa Bay train.
Ryan picked differently from all of us a ton this week, so I don't know why, but this is what it came out to. For the injuries, the Bears have a corner. Josh Blackwell is doubtful. The Bucks are going to be missing corner Carlton Davis, linebacker Servrosha Dennis, defensive tackle Kalijah Cansey. They're all out. Safety Christian Isian is questionable. So,
Bears are awful. They are just a horrible team. That's not even the Packers hate coming out. They're just bad.
Yeah,
I don't.
Can we briefly mention that Justin Jefferson has more receiving yards than any Bears wide receiver in their franchise history?
That's crazy. I mean, Justin Jefferson is the next like Randy Moss, Jerry Rice player.
But
and it
it's
sucks.
only 5,000 yards for the Bears.
Yeah,
That's not even a lot.
yeah. It's
Especially
not.
since what, like 1920 or something.
They've been around for over
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah.
So
I looked because I was talking with somebody about this the other day. I looked at like their top 5 leading receivers in their franchise history. The latest person to do that is Alshon Jeffrey. Everybody else was in the 80s and lower.
it's just they've been a poverty franchise for a while. Like
Get that, like back in the 80s or whatever, they were like the team, but
That 1 year.
they for that 1 year, and I don't understand how, as a fan, you could be so diehard for this team when they just let you down every single week for decades.
It's just so sad that their leading franchise wide receiver has 5,000 yards.
Yeah,
It's just it is,
and it's not
So
going to
sad.
change anytime soon.
especially when Tyreek Hill is probably going to get to 5,000 yards with the Dolphins by like week 7.
yeah, and,
Hell, Tyreek almost had 2,000 last year.
yeah. I don't like this game in the fact that we had to pick a winner, and I think both these teams are going to have between 5 and 7 wins this year. And the fact
Yeah.
that Tampa Bay could already have 2 in the first 2 weeks is just hurting my head. The
Look,
team,
Baker looks good.
it's just the
Did
team.
y'all see that clip of Baker from last week?
I don't know.
He like ran over a linebacker. He was like, "You need to get big, little boy."
I did see that.
It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to hate Baker.
It really is.
except for when he's an idiot and headbutts his teammates without a helmet on.
Yes, but
He's-
that's just him
the
being
competitor in
stupid.
him.
He's doing a CTE speed run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do y'all have anything else to say about this game? It's a very meh game, so
Nah, Mike Evans is gonna eat.
The Bears.
all right. The next game is, in my opinion, this is easily
Ooh.
game of the week.
Decisive.
This is game of the week easily, in my opinion. The fact that this hasn't already been flexed to Sunday Night Football is insane. For a while, I debated and debated and debated on whether or not to pick the Jaguars. Steven and I both have the same opinion. Our hearts say go Jaguars. Our brains say Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are not going to go 0-2 to start the season.
That's exactly what I was thinking too, and I don't want to change my pick because I still think that the Jags are going to be able to pull it out. It's so hard to say that the Chiefs aren't going to win.
It's a Jags revenge game.
I just
Oh,
everything leans towards the Chiefs. I feel like they're getting Chris Jones back. They've got Travis Kelce back. The only thing that worries me is the wide receiver core for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's exactly why I went with the Jags.
They have to have better.
A catch.
And so we can go through the injury list again. The Chiefs have a few people who are questionable. Quite Edwards-Helaire, Kadarius Toney, and Tershawn Wharton are all questionable.
Yeah, Tony's got broken hands.
Tony's only out because they beat his ass when they got to the locker room.
I saw a fake quote where it was like Andy Reid was like, "Yeah, his hands are broke, and they just don't catch anything."
On the flip side, the Jaguars have safety Antonio Johnson and corner Gregory Jr. are out. Center Luke Fortner, defensive end Tyler Lacey, and guard Brandon Scherf are questionable. And if the Jags happen to be without two starting offensive linemen, Chris Jones is going to eat. And it's his first game of the season. I know he's probably beyond eager to play. So,
but that could also be rust because he didn't play preseason or anything. He hasn't played football since the Super Bowl last year. So
that is true. I don't expect him to be game changing in the first half probably, but after he's warmed up a little bit, he's going to get to Trevor Lawrence a few times, I think.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, my heart says go with the Jaguars. My brain says the Chiefs are not going to go 0-2 to start the season. I'm pulling for the Jags hardcore in this game. Like,
should have put a game of the week logo or something on it.
We could start doing something like that. That's a good idea.
I think we should.
Because
or like the always out of market game of the week.
Yeah. Because I mean, this game easily best game of the week. Like no other game compares. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I even sitting here right now, I'm still debating on if I want to change it or not. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs, I think. And before before I change my mind, let's move on to the next game. So it's locked in.
Sir,
we're gonna move over to Atlanta for the Packers at the Falcons, and once again, Ryan with a lone pick against the Packers. I know you're not surprised by that at all.
Nope.
I
was about 35 seconds away from buying tickets to this game, but I don't have anybody to go with me, so I didn't.
I mean, if you pay for my ticket, I'll go.
I'm not doing that. Really, I think they were like $50 or $80, something like that. They were not expensive. It was 80. I was like, it's only a 4-hour drive or 2-hour drive, whatever. I don't even know how far it is to get to Atlanta, but I was very close to going.
just go by yourself and meet some Packer fans. Y'all travel well.
I don't want to go by myself. It's no fun.
You can meet some great Packer fans, and you can plug the podcast.
Yes.
So, for this game, Ryan told me he was just impressed with how the Falcons looked against the Panthers, and that's why he picked them. As far as I remember, that's all he said, really.
Did you remind him that they played the Panthers?
He knew who they played. He even said his words were, "I thought they looked good against the Panthers." So that's what his reasoning was.
And we feel like we don't have much to cover in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers have a lot of injuries that
yes, we do.
Could play a factor. David Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones, Quay Walker, Christian Watson, all questionable.
David Bakhtiari is questionable every single week, and he plays. So Christian Watson probably won't play just for the fact of he just is injured all the time. I never know if he's going to play or not. Aaron Jones, though, he didn't practice Thursday or Friday, and he's listed as questionable, very close to doubtful. He most likely won't play. But we're going to have to rely a lot on A.J. Dillon and our new guy, Emmanuel Wilson, if he's playing. So he still was kind of to come into the season. I think he's good now. Romeo Dobbs has been upgraded to active, so he'll be playing for sure. Other than that, Quay Walker, I haven't heard anything about him. Because he went back concussion protocol after that hit from the line when he got that pick six.
Yeah.
Back for concussion protocol. Don't think I've heard anything else about it, so he should. I think he's good. I'm not positive. I hope so because we really need him. But
Well,
I think this is going to be a good game.
on the flip side, the Falcons have linebacker Troy Anderson is out, and Jeff Okuda is questionable, which is
Good.
that could be huge. And I feel like if you're questionable the day before the game and you play, you're not at 100%. So
Yeah.
if he plays, he's not going to be at 100%, which could be huge. I mean, if Christian Watson doesn't play, Romeo Dobbs is your wide receiver 1 tomorrow, and that's who Okuda is going to wind up covering. So that could be a huge break for the Packers without having your actual wide receiver 1 to go against their corner 1.
At this point, I think of Romeo Dobbs as our wide receiver 1 anyway, because Christian Watson doesn't want to play, I guess. How bad can your hamstrings be? That's why he was out for 6 games last season.
There have been a ton of hamstring injuries this year already. It's mind blowing.
Oh, okay. We didn't put this in the news. I just remember this. There is a something going around with NFL teams removing all turf. I'd have to find out exactly what it was, but it happened after the Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, it's for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that. I saw that where they said y'all can remove it all for the World Cup, so it shouldn't be a big deal.
You're talking about the NFLPA is pushing for them to get grass instead of turf. Yeah, and we've talked about this 100 times. We all agree that they should go to grass. Turf is dangerous, as we've seen a million times now with ACLs, Achilles, hamstrings.
Unless you're Micah Parsons.
Everything.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason I brought it up is because the NFLPA is the one that said something about it. So now there's a very good possibility that it can change after one of these Hall of Famers get injured and his season gets cut out 4 plays. They're gonna end up changing something, and it'll be for the better. So
yeah, I mean we're all here for grass fields. It does not.
Especially if you're outdoors, it makes no sense to not have grass.
Yeah,
grass fields look so nice.
Yeah, and it's not hard to keep up with it.
No.
I mean, most of the stadiums have retractable roofs nowadays. If you need it to be watered, it rains. It's not hard to have sprinklers installed or anything like that. So no excuses. Protect the players. Make your money off of the players getting to actually play. Because I can guarantee you now, Jets games are going to be a lot harder to get sold out because Aaron Rodgers is not playing. So they're going to find out, oh, shit, we don't have our superstar player playing, and now we're not selling tickets. We should have had a grass field so he didn't get hurt as easily. And it may have been one of those things where it would have happened anyway,
Yeah.
But you lower the risk a ton.
It's the fact that everybody already knew they had bad turf, and then they go out there and he hurts himself on their bad turf.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no. We'll move on to the next one. We could talk about that shit forever.
Yeah. The next one up, the Raiders at the Bills. And
Tyler are always siding together this season.
Now, I will say, this game was 4-2 to the Raiders until yesterday. Steven and I both swapped to the Bills because of how many injuries the Raiders have. The Raiders are competing with the Ravens, who has the most injuries. The Bills have no injuries to report. In turn, the Raiders have tackle Jermaine Illuminator. I don't know how to say his last name. Guard Jordan Meredith. Safety Trevon Moehrig. Wide receiver DeAndre Carter. Wide receiver Devontae Adams. And quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo are questionable. The wide receiver Jacoby Myers is out.
Yeah, Devontae Adams and Jimmy G are still going to play.
It'd probably be better if Jimmy G didn't play. But
he looked decent against Denver.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't bad. I know Josh Allen probably isn't going to come out and throw 3 interceptions again.
You never know.
That's the thing. I wouldn't put it past him. I know we shit on Dak Prescott a lot because he's like an interception machine. When are we going to start making the comparison with Josh Allen and Dak Prescott? Because they are about one and the same.
I think I saw something that Allen has 39 turnover, at least more than 39 turnovers in the last 39 games.
Josh Allen, I saw something. He has the most turnovers since it was a certain year since like
2018, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's like by far has the most turnovers.
Yeah, he does not handle the ball very well. I mean,
So he does not.
I mean, why was he trying to throw deep to a dude that was like 5'10"?
Also, why did you target the same guy 3 times?
yeah,
Hey,
Like,
hey, that guy is really happy. All right, he got his $250,000 incentive bonus already.
that's crazy to me.
yep, yeah.
Um,
I if all these people that are questionable for the Raiders do play, I can see the Raiders winning this game if the Bills have a turnover issue again. But the Bills are at home, and Josh Allen is coming off of one of the worst games of his career. I think he turns it around. I think the Bills in general turn it around, and
He's at least gonna have one turnover though.
I mean, I will not disagree with
Really?
that. Uh,
I could see it going either way, really. I see why y'all picked the Bills.
yeah, and same thing with y'all picking the Raiders. I picked the Raiders to start with as well, because I thought the same thing. Josh Allen sucks. The Raiders are going to win this game, but then all this stuff came out about people being injured for the Raiders, and Jacoby Myers was their number one wide receiver last week.
Yeah.
He
No,
scored,
once you said that,
he scored their 2 touchdowns that they had. So
um, but he got fucking lit up, and now he's a concussion. So
yep. So it's it's one of the games that
toss-up.
yeah, it's one of the games that could go either way, but I'm gonna take the home team on this one. You have anything
Hope
else?
Stephon Diggs gets a bunch of touchdowns because I'm gonna put money on him. So
I already have money on it, so if y'all don't have anything else, we can move on to the next one.
move it on.
All right, we
Wow.
got the Chargers at the Titans. The most notable pick here is Steven has broke the seal and picked against his team.
I'm not doing that.
And
You know,
he told me his reason. He wanted me to mention it. He is picking against the Titans because Ryan Tannehill has to prove himself for Steven to pick the Titans again after the more than abysmal outing Ryan Tannehill had last week against the Saints. Steven could not bring himself to pick his own team this week.
not as bad as the Josh Allen, but yes, it's still horrible. Looked okay other than Ryan Tannehill. It makes me want to pick him. So with Austin Eckler being out, I thought that's going to put a huge dent in the Chargers production.
So I'll go through the injuries real quick. There's only a few of them. Like you said, Austin Eckler, he's doubtful, probably not going to play. And Joey Bosa is questionable for the Chargers. And then on the flip side for the Titans, DeAndre Hopkins and Peter Skronsky are questionable. I don't know what their status is moving forward.
Skorowski just had an illness, so I'm sure he'll play.
And then Christian Fulton and Amani Hooker are out. So big blow to the secondary for the Titans. So I think
I did see somebody post our starting lineup last year against the Chargers when we played them versus this year, and it's a lot better this year for the defense, at least.
even with your two your biggest guys in the secondary being
Oh
out,
yes, I will read this off to you. Last year's starting lineup for the defense against the Chargers was Mario Edwards, In Jones, Big Jeff, Cole, Rice, Dupree, RNC, T. Mitchell, Jay Reed, Byard, Adams. That's literally, out of that, there's only 2 people that are starting this year. So the rest of those people were picks-ups because people were injured. And maybe Cole. Cole's probably still on the team. But most of these people are...
Went back and forth on this game. Well, especially once Austin Eckler got moved to doubtful. But I don't know.
I
I don't trust Ryan Tannehill.
I just think Justin Herbert and his wide receivers are gonna light up the secondary.
Also, if Tannehill just tries to throw to DeAndre Hopkins again like he did last week, they're gonna pick up on that shit so quick.
Yeah, y'all are gonna have to have some other wide receivers get open, make some plays happen to take the pressure.
Oh, we
off
had
of the
people
top.
open.
Yeah, no, if you watch...
He just had locked-in syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Ryan Tannehill, though, you're like, oh, hell yeah, I have D-Hop on my team. I'm going to throw to him every play. Hey, you just can't do that. You can't do it.
I will
You've
say
also
one
got to
thing.
hit people when they're open.
Yeah. I will say one more thing. Ajay Spears has got to start getting more work. They need to start just getting him going. Every time they can get him in the game, they need to try it because he'll be one of the breakout factors of y'all winning this game if y'all do.
I'm going to say this, and it hurts my heart to say this, and I know that it's going to hurt Titans fans' hearts, but I think Derrick Henry is a third down back this year, and that's it.
Yeah, he couldn't get anything going last week. Oh,
Yeah, I think Tajay Spears is your RB1, and I think Derrick Henry is a guy. If you got 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, you're putting him in. He can bowl over whoever gets in his way and get the first down.
I mean, also we went away from the run for some reason, and it was only like
yeah.
it was a close game. We should have just kept running the ball.
Yeah, the Titans made some weird choices last week. Well, hopefully y'all make some better choices this week.
I'm a believer.
Like
We'll
we
see.
said,
We'll see.
it was week 1. Everybody's a little off trying things, starting players that they wouldn't start usually. It's all messed up right now. We'll figure out this week how teams are really going to start doing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Anything else on this one?
No.
All right. Then we have our first
Uh-oh.
sweep. First sweep of the week. The 49ers at the Rams. I mean, the 49ers dominated last week more than the Rams dominated the Seahawks. For me, this was one of the easiest games of the week. There are a couple other ones that I said were a little easier. Do y'all really have much to say about this game?
Nope.
You're not sure about to destroy them. I don't even think it's going to be close.
I think
Force turnovers and
I think it could
get
be
it
close
done.
for the first half, but I think in the second half, the 49ers run away with it.
Yeah. The Rams, I don't think they look as good as people think they do because I don't think the Seahawks are as good as people think they are. But
It's
We'll find
it's
out.
possible. Like you said in
Yeah.
the last game we picked, we'll find out how everybody actually is as the season moves on a little bit. By week 3 or week 4, we'll really know where teams lie, and we'll have a better grip on who we should pick for each game. Maybe. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. We got the Giants at the Cardinals, and I do not have an issue with you picking the Cardinals for this game. I thought it was a little out there at first, but the more I think about it, the more I respect it. The Giants look like poo-poo on Sunday night against the Cowboys.
I mean, by far the worst showing from a team I've seen in a long time. I think the last time it was the Giants also. But
yeah, it was just the Cowboys defense ate them up all game.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the Cardinals didn't look bad last week, though. It looks like they're not actually tanking.
yeah, it's really confusing, and I almost did pick the Cardinals, but I have to see them win a game first before I can decide to actually pick them. And I know the same thing could be said for the Giants. I should see them score points before I pick them because they haven't scored yet this season.
Cardinals haven't won a game in a long time.
Yeah, and this is a game that if the Cardinals start out hot and they get a couple scores back to back on their first couple drives, I can see this going to the Cardinals. I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. Daniel Jones is the most overpaid quarterback in the league, and it's not even close. And he really showed it on Sunday night against the Cowboys that he is overpaid, and his offensive line doesn't help him. And
No.
I mean, I say his offensive line doesn't help him. The Cowboys have an amazing defense, just in all the way around. Their defense is crazy, and we really saw it carry Dak Prescott because he didn't do anything on Sunday night. He had less than 150 passing yards, and they won 40-0. So if that doesn't tell you how good the defense is, I don't know what will. Tyler, you got anything on this one?
Nah,
The,
not much to say.
both these teams suck anyway, so
Yeah.
they're both gonna have about 3 wins this season.
Yeah. The next game, we got another sweep.
Oh
Speaking
no,
of,
single believer in Zach Wilson. I mean, he didn't look bad. He looked decent against the whoever the fuck they played the other
the
night.
Bills. But like I just talked about, that Cowboys defense is crazy, and
That's why I picked against them.
yeah, they're gonna eat Zach Wilson alive. He's gonna want to quit playing football, I think, after this game. Like,
What are we gonna say when the Cowboys put up 42 weeks in a row?
it
Boys are
depends.
back?
It depends. Is it 40 points where 35 of them come from the defense, or is it 40 points where 30 of them come from the offense and 10 from the defense?
That's true. That is very true.
If we have a game where Dak Prescott has 3 or 4 touchdowns, whether it be in the air or on the ground, we might be able to talk Cowboys are back. If it's the defense again, though,
They're
slow
going to win a
down.
playoff game before I say that.
The Cowboys are not back. I refuse to say it because they can't win.
That's why I did the quotations.
Yeah.
So, but if the Cowboys defense plays like they did last week, the whole season, they could probably carry Dak to a playoff win on their own. Like, they played insane.
You should clickbait the shit out of everybody and you put Cowboys are back in the thumbnail.
I mean, I do have to come up with a thumbnail for this. Steven's not here to do it, so.
You need to get a picture. I've got an idea. I'll help you.
Okay. I gotta do it after this recording anyway, so.
I'll have to charge my iPad first, but
yeah, I mean, second sweep of the week. This was the second easiest game for me to pick this week. Yeah, the next game we've got is the Commanders at the Broncos.
this is another one I was shocked by because me and you talked about this whenever we were playing the game or whatever. But I'm shocked nobody picked the Commanders. They looked good, and the Broncos still can't score over 17 points.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with you picking the Commanders in this game. I feel like if the Broncos start slow, it could go to the Commanders. I'm hoping, since we're at home and we've got a game under our belt, with the biggest problem last week is we didn't have any big plays. We had one play that could have been a big gain, but our receiver stepped out of bounds as he caught the ball, so it didn't count. If we can get some big plays off, I think we can handily win this game. I am worried about the fact that Chase Young is now active and will be playing. I'm very scared of him. He's a dog, and I don't want to have to face him. And we already have to face Chris Jones twice this year with the Chiefs. So this is going to be a true test of our offensive line to see if, we're going to be able to do anything about these pass rushers that are insane. That being said, they handled Crosby last week.
They did.
We had technically the best rated offensive line last week, which is crazy thinking about because of how we were last year. So
don't get me wrong. I'm still rooting for the Broncos in this game.
Oh yeah, I figured. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with you picking the Commanders because there's a good chance you're going to get it right and everybody else will get it wrong. So, I mean, we'll see.
I know. Now I'm starting to doubt myself because every time because he did so good last week. I mean, I know I was only one behind him, but now I'm like, I'm doubting myself because everybody else is going against me so many times.
Always knew Matthew was a commie.
It's a speak now or forever hold your peace. Once we go to the next one, it's locked.
Leaving it.
All right. And with that one, we are moving over to Sunday Night Football. Don't know why this is Sunday Night Football.
What a good game.
Dolphins at the Patriots. Another sweep this week.
Hopefully Tyreek Hill has another 50-point fantasy game.
He will, and so will Jalen Waddle.
There are some injuries that I want to bring up for this game. I've skipped the last few because a lot of them have been just very, not really going to make a very big impact probably. But with this one, the Dolphins could still be without Teron Armstead, and they could also be without Jalen Phillips on defense. So, and then on the flip side, there is a chance that the Patriots are without 4 starting offensive linemen, and Devontae Parker. So, with that being said,
Yeah.
if they're missing anybody, Dolphins are going to win this game so easily. I mean, they probably still will win this game easily.
I was gonna say, even if the Patriots are fully healthy, I think that they're gonna win this game easy.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are just not a good team. I mean, they've got some rebuilding to do.
Look, I hate because me and Gavin shit on each other's teams constantly, but Will looks like a completely different person this year. He is like putting balls where they shouldn't. There's no way that they should be able to get there to the receiver, and it's perfect every single time. Every pass he makes has been perfect this season. I don't know if it's just him doing work over the offseason or if the defense he played last week was just abysmal, but he looks amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if the Dolphins can stay healthy, they are true Super Bowl contenders this year. But that's the problem. They have to stay healthy.
What is the co-betting favorite for MVP right now? So, I don't know who the other one is, but it's probably Patrick Mahomes.
Comeback player of the year.
Honestly.
I mean, yeah.
It's DeMar Hamlin. DeMar Hamlin's comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
Even though he's not playing.
This game's just not going to be close.
No. That's it.
Now for another icky Monday Night Football game.
Yay.
Yeah. Monday Night Football, Saints at the Panthers. I will be honest, I was on the edge of picking the Panthers just because in this game. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, nah, I don't think they're going to get it done. The Saints defense looked pretty decent against the Titans. And the Panthers defense could not stop Bijan last week. So I don't see a way the Panthers win this game, honestly. It may be close, but it's Saints all the way, I think.
Bryce Young's got to learn to not turn the ball over.
Yeah, and it's an adjustment period going from college to the NFL. I mean, every quarterback goes through it.
For Joe Burrow.
Except for Joe Burrow. And Patrick Mahomes did well, too, when he first started.
Yeah.
So, most quarterbacks go through that learning phase.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes had a year off, though.
That's true. Otherwise, I really don't have anything to say about this game. So let's move on to the second Monday Night Football game, because there's 2 of them this week.
What?
The Browns at the Steelers. Ryan.
There's also 2 Monday Night Football games next week as well.
Yeah.
So weird.
Ryan going alone in this one with the Steelers. His reasoning was fuck the Browns.
Sure. Browns are going to win.
Yeah, the Steelers looked awful against the 49ers, and I know it's the 49ers defense. Like, you know, their defense is one of the best in the league. But the Browns looked really good against the Bengals. Or the Bengals looked really bad against the Browns, or it was a combination of both. Not really sure.
And I mean, also, Myles Garrett is going to be a problem. So.
Yeah.
The Browns defense is nasty.
Yeah, I think the Browns are going to be too much for the Steelers to handle. I think
Myles
the
Garrett was
Steelers...
doing crossover moves.
Yeah. Literally like he was playing basketball before getting to the quarterback. But I do think the Steelers will eventually turn it around this season, and Mike Tomlin's going to pull a winning record out of his ass again, like he always does.
Yeah.
But for the first few weeks of the season, it's going to be rough. And their schedule doesn't help them out. Like, with their division they're in, they're playing good teams every time they play a divisional game. So...
Microphone open.
What was that?
Oh.
It was Tyler's mic.
Okay. It scared me. I thought someone was, like, talking to me next to me.
I learned something new.
Yeah, that is going to bring us to our final game of this. Well, not this week, but it's technically next week. But since we picked Thursday Night Football early, since we don't record until Saturdays, the Giants at the not Steelers, 49ers. This was the easiest game of the week for me to pick by miles.
Oh yeah.
The Giants, we've already talked about it, got destroyed by the Cowboys, and then they go and have to play the 49ers defense. So arguably the two best defenses in the league in the first 3 weeks for the Giants offense does not favor them in the slightest. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring it up.
Will you be starting Darren Waller?
Honestly, I don't know. I have him starting this week because I don't know how much he's going to do or how much Evan Ingram's going to do against the Chiefs this week. But I forgot to mention in the Saints-Panthers game, J.C. Horn is out for the Panthers with a hamstring problem. And then for the last game, for the Browns-Steelers, we already talked about Cam Hayward being out. Jack Conklin is out for the season for the Browns with an ACL tear, which is a huge blow for them, realistically. That's a big loss. I still think they get it done, though, against the Steelers. And obviously for this game, we don't have an injury report, really, because this is a week away, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 5 sweeps, I believe, this week. Or actually
There's
6.
a lot of sweeps.
6, actually, since you swapped to the
Oh,
Colts
yeah.
over the Texans. But yeah, I'll bring up the percentages one more time for everybody to see this how we did last week. We'll see how we compare to.
Just wait for me to drop real low this week.
Tyler and I are just trying to get above 50% at this point.
Hey. Well, that was me all last season.
Yeah, you stayed at 50% last season. I mean, that was crazy, man. I don't know how you did that. You're off to a much better start this year, though. I think it helps that we've all learned a lot about football in the last year. Not that we didn't know a lot already, but we've just learned an exponential amount in the last year. Yeah, I think if you guys don't have anything else, I think we are good to wrap it up.
I think that's it.
Don't forget to try Dubby. The code is on the screen. Always out at checkout for 10% off. It helps us to continue growing and make better content for you guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Always Out of Market Pod. Follow us on YouTube at Always Out of Market. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Matthew, you want to take us out?
Just like to thank y'all once again for listening each week. We truly do appreciate it. That's been another episode with your boys here at Always Out of Market.
Later.